Is your unforgiveness a sin towards God? Well, if you look at Matthew chapter 18, Peter comes to Jesus and he says, how many times should I forgive my brother? 7 times? And Jesus says, I say unto you 7 times 70, saying you should forgive them as many times as possible. And Jesus goes into this parable talking about a king who was owed a debt by someone, and the person couldn't pay it because the debt was unpayable. And the king was going to throw him into prison, but the guy begged for forgiveness, and the king ultimately showed him grace. Well, that same person who was shown grace went and found someone who owed him debt, ripped him up, and then threw him in prison. Well, when the king found out about this, that his grace and mercy wasn't passed on to the next person, he found that guy he showed grace to, and then he ultimately threw him in prison. We need to be people who are forgiving because God has forgiven us for way more than we could forgive someone else for. Don't be that ungrateful servant who doesn't pass on that grace that God has shown them.